Hello dear aspirants, APSc mains examination is over now. I hope that all of you must have done well. Believe that you have done well. Because in the mains examination there is no single answer which is correct. All the answers you have written are correct answers. Now let the examiners evaluate your answer and give you the marks accordingly. Your task is that instead of becoming disappointed, start preparing for the interview. Another thing, this year APSc, for the future aspirants I want to tell something. This year APSc has increased the level of their questions from direct content based questions into some few analytical questions they have added. Regarding the interview training, if you want to start, and you must start the interview at present itself, Academy of Civil Services, we are launching a full-fledged interview package. In that interview package, when you prepare for the interview, one major doubt you might have in the mind is that how is exactly the APSc interview? Personally, I have not appeared the APSc interview. I have appeared UPSc interview. If I share my experience, you will get an idea on how is the UPSC's interview. APSC's interview sometimes might be different. UPSC asks lot of questions based on your detailed application form. But last year, many of the aspirants who appeared the interview from Academy of Civil Services, they shared with me that directly they got a question from current affairs. Some of them directly got a question from Assam history or Assam culture or Assam architecture. That is why in the interview program of Academy of Civil Services, first we are organizing the sessions of listen to the experience of the toppers of the last year. Those who became the toppers from Academy of Civil Services last year, we will call them in Guwahati and Dibrugarh. You can attend the session. You can listen to them how was their experience of interview. Second thing, we are making a detailed application form based question preparation for you. We will tell you which are the questions which may come to you based on your background, your educational background and the place you belong to, your parents' occupation, the college you studied, all these might be a question. Next one, another major trouble we might have in the interview is that instantly the answer is not coming. When they ask a question, to solve that program, we will organize some group discussions. When we are making a group discussion on a topic, you can see that multiple students and different people are responding. Then in your mind also some opinion of yours will be shaped and it will come out automatically. If the same topic comes in your interview, you can take the whatever you have listened from other participants also will help you in the interview. Next, current affairs. In interview they might ask regarding current affairs, and 100 most important current affairs topics we will provide you inside the interview program. Finally, when the result is declared, we will organize the mock interviews with the retired IAS officers and the retired professors. If you are interested to join the interview plan now itself, you can register in the link given in the description. Regarding my analysis of the mains examination, essay paper was same as the last year as we expected. The section A, all the 4 questions were philosophical questions, and section B, all the 4 questions were the fact-based or information-based questions. You might have seen the question regarding chat, GPT, Boon or Bain. Think globally and act locally. You can explain this answer in multiple angles. Think globally and act locally. When you produce something, when you do a business, think how you can produce locally and how you can sell globally, and that is globalization of trade. And you can again, when you are acting locally, you can think globally. Government of India also promoted yoga in India, but we were acting locally initially, but we were thinking globally. Yoga was performed in this year International Yoga Day by the Prime Minister of India in the United Nations headquarters in US. Hence, in different angles, environment, think globally and act locally. When you are acting locally, when you do some industrialization, when you are developing some economic venture, you have to think regarding the whole universe or the whole global community. We should not pollute our environment. My point is that I am not telling that you should write the answer in the same way. Whatever I analyze is my analysis. Your analysis is also correct. That is why everybody's answer, whatever way you have written the answer, everybody's answer is correct. GS1, many questions came from society in India. I was teaching you the society in India, and many questions from society in India were direct questions. At the same time, they tried to make it somewhere analytical. For example, there was a question: do you see Indian women as an untapped human resource? Give reasons. We have studied on women empowerment, organizations which were championing the women's empowerment and women development. But they asked the question, connecting the women into the GDP or connecting the women into economy, it is an untapped potential. Yes, in Assam itself, you have huge examples of women. Tea gardens, they are contributing heavily into the economy of the state of Assam. And the silk weaving and the gamusa weaving, the women, how they are contributing. My point is that while getting such a question for APSC examination, if you are connecting your answer to the state of Assam, you might get more marks. I am giving this as an instruction for the future aspirants. Those who already appeared the exam, if you did not, I am telling again, your answer is also correct. My way of explaining answer is also correct. There is nothing wrong in any answer. The answer, all answers are correct. APSC will look, or the evaluators will look into who has applied more creativity in the answer. Coming to the GS2 also, majority of the questions were direct factual questions. You can get it from the ACS material and you must have got the answers. But certain questions, and they have made analytical questions. For example, the question number 6. The basic purpose of development is to enlarge people's choices. Elucidate in the light of government policies and intervention for the development of India. The basic purpose of the development is to enhance the choices of the people. Really, when we can call ourselves as developed, then we have multiple choices, whether it is economic choices, social choices, because we will never be able to be a developed country if we are telling that all the people should follow only one way of life, one way of dress code, again one way of education. We should have choices of education, choices of healthcare, choices of transportation. If I am poor, I want to go in a bus, I should have that choice. If I am rich, I want to go by helicopter, that choice also should be there for the development. That is why one of the most important indicator of development is choice. Next one, in IR, they have asked the analytical question. In keeping with the neighborhood first policy, India desires normal neighborly relations with Pakistan. Yes, India is a country which is promoting International Day of Non-Violence, and we have a policy of no first use of the nuclear weapon. And throughout the history, throughout the post-independent history of India, and we have never created any trouble in the borders. That is why whoever is at the neighborhood, our policy is that there should be peace in the neighborhood. There should be no internal disturbances created in India. Crossing the border is the policy of India. Then you can start, if you want, with the examples from Jawaharlal Nehru's time up to the modern time. India never wanted to be a trouble creator in the border. We wanted only our strong stand we took for maintaining the peace and order in the border. That is, this answer you can take neighborhood first policy, and while you are explaining, we can explain with our history of how we were dealing Agra summit between General Parvez Musharraf and A.B. Vajpayee, and the main aim of Agra summit was to bring the permanent peace in the border. It was after reaching Agra, the Pakistan's President General Parvez Musharraf boycotted and he walked out of the summit. And India never walked out of the summit. Same way, and when 2014, when Prime Minister Narendra Modi was taking oaths, the chief guest was Pakistan's Prime Minister Nawaz Sharif was the chief guest. And then you can take the recent examples and the past examples to prove that how India never had a problem with the country Pakistan. In our foreign relationship, we never tried to create any problem. Our thing is that peacefully all the disputes should be solved, and there should be No violence sponsored crossing the border in Indian land. Then you can analyze that. My point is that these are sometimes out of the non-expected questions, how to handle in that situation by invoking our thought is my point. Again, once again, I want to tell that whatever answer you have written is also correct. Never be disappointed by listening to my answer. My way of thought might be different. Your way of thought might be different. Sometimes your way of thought and your way of writing the answer might attract more marks from the examiner. Coming to GS3, and GS3, again, as I told, majority of the questions were directly from the content part, and if you have studied the material of Academy of Civil Services, or if you have studied the entire syllabus and all the subtopics, sub-modules given in the syllabus, you might have been able to write the answer. Few questions. One question, for example, question number 3. Give 5 reasons that positively connect economic liberalization with economic growth. I had given you a note on economic liberalization, impacts of economic liberalization, and the positive and impact and the negative impacts of economic liberalization. There, most of the positive impacts of economic liberalization are connected to how liberalization wanted to increase the GDP growth of India. It has practically increased the GDP growth also, because in 1990 and 1991, when we decided to go ahead with the liberalization, you know the condition of the balance of payment crisis in India and the Indian economic situation, the huge unemployment and high inflation in India. Most of the problems we were able to solve in the post-liberalization era. In the post-liberalization era, we have not faced that much high balance of payment crisis. That is why economic growth was the byproduct, the positive impact, or if you are writing in this answer, all positive impacts of liberalization of Indian economy, then the answer will be matching how liberalization has promoted economic growth in India. Coming to GS4, ethics. It was as expected. There was no very tough question. Most of the questions they have asked directly from the lexicon, and we have given you a summary of the lexicon as the material of Academy of Civil Services, and from the material and plus, and see the question number 3. Describe the following terms in respect of fundamental values of civil services: integrity, impartiality, objectivity, empathy, and compassion. That is directly as it is in the lexicon. It has been given in our material also, and it was given almost out of these 5 terms, 4 terms were given for explanation in one of our demo examinations as well. I think the students might be remembering that. But still, in ethics also, it was not normally such type of questions were coming, and that is the quotation based questions. An effective public servant must be a good leader rather than a good boss. Comment. What are the 3 most important leadership qualities in a public servant must possess? See. Ethics and public administration. I have taken the class on ethics and the public administration. Whether I told you that the meaning of the term servant, public servant, is not a boss. Boss has an economic connotation. Boss means somebody want to increase the money, and somebody want to increase the business and want to control the people and make them work, especially do the hard work and improve. Public servants, they are not running a business. They are running a nation. Running a nation means that we should make the life more easier. That is why the leader's ability is to make the life easier. A boss, sometimes the term boss makes the business grow, and sometimes he might not give attention for the life of the people who are subordinate to him. Then a civil servant, we are servant, and servant means that we have to give the important qualities: empathy, compassion, and empathy, compassion, and the power to acceptance. Whatever we are telling, and power of acceptance, whatever we are telling, other people should accept from heart. There are 2 things. I am a DC, or I am, because of the fear other people are accepting my orders. Second thing, because they know that whatever I order, there is an output in that. When they are doing that work, they get the satisfaction of fulfilling some target or something, or fulfilling a social service out of, from heart they are accepting. That is a quality of the leader. Then my point is that when such a question comes, we can explain what is a boss, what is a leader, and we can give an example of a leader. Mahatma Gandhi was a leader, and all civil servants are leaders. Prime Minister is a leader, Chief Minister is a leader. What is a boss? And boss means someone and who is, because governance should not convert it into a business. Governance should be for making the life easier for the people. That is the point we have to highlight here. One Mahatma Gandhi's quotation, the best way to find yourself is to lose yourself in the service of others. Almost the same points will come here also. Then remaining this one, the case study, and it was also an easy questions, and we have given you the instruction how to write, and we had made a 2 class in the end on how to take out the ethical issues and how to take out the ethical dilemma and what are the ethical problems, how to take out the social problems from the case studies of the GS4 paper. Coming to the last and final, the GS5, majority of the questions were direct from the content part, but certain questions were analytical questions. The question number 6 you can see. Do you agree with the view of the fate of Assam economy is determined by its rural sector? I am taking the Assam economy question because I was teaching the Assam economy in the class. Fate of Assam economy is determined by its rural sector. Correct only. And I have lived in Kerala, I have lived in Delhi, I have lived in Assam also. I have never seen, and I have traveled across 17 states in India, I have never seen such high economic potential in any state's rural area like Assam. Any industry, any economic activity you take, agriculture, and anyway every state has the agriculture and mostly rural based economy. Sericulture, Assam has a Swalguchi, is a village, not Guwahati city. It is far away from Guwahati city, some near to 40 kilometers away from Guwahati city. A small village is creating the silk. Silk industry, not only Swalguchi, and it is spread all over Assam. Agar industry, and that is also mostly concentrated in the villages in the Hojai and other area. Terracotta industry, and the mostly in Dhubri district and Barpeta district, and is also mostly concentrated in the river sides in the rural area. And look into the bell metal industry. All industries of Assam, majority of the industries of Assam if you take, that is the most important economic activity. Most of other states have high industrialization in the urban area, and the people from rural area are migrating into urban area to get a job in industrial sector. But Assam has its own ethnic unique industries, and in that those industries the rural people are experts. That is why all economics, all these things we have discussed in the class, bell metal industry and terracotta industry and sericulture industry, and again the what I mentioned, the tea garden industries, tea industry, all these industries are mostly focused, mostly concentrated. Our question was not only industry, economy, including agriculture. You can write a beautiful answer. I hope that you must have done that. And I was giving again, once again I want to tell that I am giving my own thought and insight on how to write the answer. Your answer is also correct and my answer is also correct in the mains examination. Remaining questions of the Assam discuss the outcome of G20 sessions in Assam as an opportunity to showcase tourism and cultural heritage of Assam, and also to highlight the trade and investment potential before the international community. That is a general thing we have discussed, how the G20 hosting has helped India to showcase our economic and the social potential. The Disaster Management Act 2005 envisages a paradigm shift from response and relief centric approach to proactive and comprehensive approach covering all aspects of prevention, mitigation and preparedness in disaster management. In this regard, do you think Assam has been able to shift its focus as envisaged in the Act? Definitely. One major discussion in Assam regarding the disaster management is the flood and earthquake, whether Assam has been able to prevent it, to take the precaution before it happens, and instead of taking the remedial measures after it happens. That is the analysis, and you must have got the class from Ms. Mahashweta regarding the disaster management. This is my view and my analysis. My point is that never think that only my answer is correct. Everybody's answer is correct. Once again, I want to emphasize on that. Everybody's answer is correct. Each and every student must start preparing for the interview now. If you start preparing, it will motivate you from inside. It will ignite your thought process. Even if you are walking here and there, then think, if such a question comes in the interview, how will I answer? I have thought, and when I was going for your PSC interview, and every time I was thinking that if such a question comes, how I will answer that question. Another question comes, how I will answer that particular question. One of my friend who went for the interview before me, he was also from Jamia Millia Islamia, and I was also a student of Jamia Millia at that time. He told me that they asked me many questions regarding Jamia Millia Islamia. Then I also prepared, and how different questions might come on the university Jamia Millia Islamia, the history of Jamia Millia Islamia, the history of non-cooperation movement. I also got the questions from regarding the university and the institute Jamia Millia Islamia and its relevance in the history and its relevance in emphasizing the secular credentials of the great nation India. Then you also think of probable questions and enjoy the preparation of the interview, and you can register for the free interview package of Academy of Civil Services. You are most welcome. I will also be there to train you. Not only me, all the faculties of Academy will be there, and the experienced IAS officers, IPS officers, and the professors, and our old qualified ACS officers will be there to train you, and you are most welcome. Thank you.